Good morning, it's Jeff Waite here at stockideas.org, and today I just want to do a quick video on what price to buy a stock at. This is something I get asked a lot, and I'm just going to work through an example with you here using IAG, IM Gold, which is the stock that I'm looking at. So we're just looking at 1 year, 3-month chart. You can see the stock has been in a downtrend. It's been oversold quite a bit, had weak momentum, and now it's maybe starting to scalp out a bottom, maybe. So what price do we buy this stock at? The biggest determiner is going to be your time frame and your investment style and horizon. So if you're a short-term investor or swing trader, you might be looking for a counter trend trade up to one of these moving averages. Whereas, if you're a long-term investor, you might not even consider that. You might just be slowly building a position over time because you believe in the fundamental value of the company here, and you think ultimately the stock price will go higher. So the biggest determiner of what price do you buy a stock at is actually your investment style and your time horizon. If you're a shorter term trader, you'll probably be using more charts and more technical analysis to determine your entry and exit points, because you're more concerned with that price action. So you can maybe be pulling up charts, and maybe you're drawing support and resistance lines to try to look for potential bottoms. You might be using Bollinger Bands, and you can buy when the stock is oversold and you expect it will bounce back to its 20-day moving average. That's another approach that again could work well. It all depends on your what you're looking for in the trade and what your system is. You might actually wait until this consolidation pattern resolves itself, whether that's lower or higher. That could be a prudent way to manage your risk, because you want to watch and you want to kind of bet on this setup rather than buying here and putting your money at risk while you wait to see if it rolls over. Alternatively, you could average into your position, so you could start buying here, and then if it breaks out, you could add, or if it rolls over, you could cut your losses with the stop loss, or even double down at the lows, depending on your outlook for the company. Now, on the other hand, if you're a fundamental investor, there's going to be some other considerations. You're going to be looking at things like earnings, things like book value, things like debt, and dividend yield. So from if you're looking at what price do you buy IM Gold at from a fundamental perspective, it's going to be a different question. You might work backwards and figure out, okay, well, what's the company worth, and then what kind of gain am I expecting? So one way, really quick and dirty way to figure out what a company is worth is using the Graham number. The Graham number was invented by Benjamin Graham as a kind of back-of-the-envelope approach to value stocks based on book value and earnings. So you multiply the book value by the earnings per share by 22.5, which is this Graham number coefficient. And then we take the square root of that answer, and it tells us that, okay, IM Gold is actually worth $7.4 today, all things considered. So with that in mind, now whether you buy the stock at 411 or 450 or 395 doesn't matter so much, because you're ultimately targeting an upside around $7.50 or $8 up here. So in that case, with a longer term outlook and with where the fundamentals are your driving force, that's going to be kind of the area that's going to determine maybe a bit more where you buy your stock at. And if you're expecting a retracement up to these highs or above, whether you pick the very bottom or just average in to a position down here and then wait for things to revert to, let's say, normal, you're gonna have different considerations into what price do you buy the stock at. Now, the other thing to consider is just that it's probably going to take a couple weeks, maybe a couple months, maybe a couple quarters to get back up to this $7 area. So long-term investors might be less concerned with their exact entry price, but they're willing to wait longer and be more patient for the stock to retrace back up to what it's worth or revert to what it's worth. Whereas short-term technical day traders need to grind out money right now, so they're going to be looking. You might not even be using a daily time frame. You might be using a 5-minute or a 30-minute time frame to find your entries and exits based on these smaller time frame technical patterns. So the point I kind of just want to make here is that the price that you buy a stock at really depends on what your profit target is and your investing style and decision-making approach. If it's fundamental primarily, it's going to be much different than if it's just technical. For those intermediate term swing traders, you can use some fundamental analysis to guide you. You could start a little position here because you believe in the fundamental case, and then as the moving averages smooth out in a line and start to slope back up, maybe you'll add to your position because you believe, okay, now momentum's coming in and the stock could run up to $7. So there's no short answer here on what price do you buy a stock at. Again, you could take the approach of finding an entry point from there that is maybe 30% lower. Alternatively, you can just use the chart and find technical entries and exits, but bear in mind that over the long term, the longer you're in the stock, the more the fundamentals may exert themselves, and this, could present a problem for you if the fundamentals don't necessarily line up with your approach and your kind of short-term trading decision. So I hope this has helped you. I realize that it's, a bit of a complex exercise, and there are a lot of things to go in it. The most important thing is to know yourself, know your time frame, know the methodology behind your investment decisions, and from there, you can start to figure out what price to buy a stock at. The other thing I encourage is, I have a lot of good luck when I average into stocks. I'm not confident that I can always pick the exact top or bottom, so it's okay to build a position slowly if your investing time frame allows it. So I hope this video has helped you understand what price do you buy a stock at. For more videos, analysis, check out my YouTube channel or visit stockideas.org. Thanks very much for watching.